What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Choosing today's video was kinda hard. I was trying to think of what to do for April Fools and I did have some ideas, but some were more outlandish than the others. I know I keep joking about doing what if Kanye was in Dragon Ball. I'm gonna do that someday, but today's not the day. I need to save that for a more special occasion. Jokes aside, I was trying to think of something that could be kinda crazy, but also realistic at the same time. Something that fits the whole idea of April Fools and can turn into a full scenario if there's enough interest. And that's where I thought of today's scenario. And since it is an April Fool's video, I'm going to be a bit loose with what I do. And there's going to be some surprises that you see later on in the video. Today, we'll begin covering what would happen if Frieza raised Kakarot. For this video, let's hit a like goal of 3,500 likes. If we hit that, I'll continue with another part of the series and keep it going. Anyways, let's begin. So, how does this even all start? Frieza raising Kakarot of all people. Well actually, there's a really simple explanation for this. Even though it sounds crazy, it's not going to require me to pull a lot of strings to make it happen. Let's rewind all the way back to when Planet Vegeta is destroyed, or at least a little bit before that once Kakarot is sent away. This time around, the Frieza Force actually does notice a pod leaving the planet. They try and contact someone on board, but there's no scouter on there. They thought it might have been a soldier trying to escape, but no. They can't tell who is on there or what is on there. The soldiers ask if they should blow it up, but Frieza asked to intercept it. Maybe it's a spy trying to escape or something. They can get some info out of him if that's the case. Or maybe they're sending something valuable off the planet to keep preserved. Either way, he wants to intercept it. So his forces go and get the pod. And Frieza sees what's on board. It turns out to be a child actually. Not a soldier, not some valuable object, just a child. Oh, he sees what happened. Some Saiyan knew that his planet was going to be blown up, and decided to send his kid away to save him. Well, that Saiyan has some good intuition because right after, Frieza blows up the planet. And he thinks about what to do with the child. He doesn't seem to be too old, just a toddler. And since Frieza did want to kill all the Saiyans, he does contemplate killing this one too. I mean, there's no purpose in keeping him around, right? Well, no. Frieza actually gets an idea. Obviously, he knows that not all the Saiyans are dead. Vegeta's group is still alive, and he can keep them under his control. However, the arrival of this baby Saiyan brings up an interesting opportunity. What if he kept this baby as another soldier? Obviously his soldiers want to question him, but they feel like if they do, they'll be killed too. But Frieza explains his ideology behind this. He tells them to think about it. There's no other Saiyans left to influence this one. For all they know, he could be a valuable soldier. Imagine him being raised by the Frieza Force to go by Frieza's ideals. For all they know, he probably doesn't have any knowledge of the Saiyans. Well, hopefully. If it turns out that he actually does have some memories, then Frieza will dispose of this child. But as he contemplates it more, he decides to keep him around. There is one condition though. The child can't have any contact with Vegeta or his group. That's a really easy way for him to be corrupted by the remaining Saiyans. This kid will be raised by Frieza and his army. He might have some serious potential. I mean, think about it. All that Saiyan power, under complete control of Frieza, with the same mindset and influence. As of now, Kakarot is a pretty clean slate. As we know, Saiyans do have great memories. Kakarot would probably know his name and his parents, but not really much else. Yeah, Saiyan memories are great and all, but Kakarot wasn't really out of his incubation chamber that long. Going by what we saw in the Broly movie, Kakarot was basically in the incubation chamber his whole kid life, and he was only removed from it when he was being sent off the planet. In this scenario, he actually doesn't know anything about Frieza. He only knows the name of himself and his parents, and that he has an objective to survive. He actually doesn't know that Frieza is a bad guy, which gives a good opportunity for the Emperor. This will be really good. He could use it to his advantage. Unlike the other Saiyans, he has no opinion of Frieza. That's perfect. Frieza takes this child in as his own. What should he call him though? Maybe Frieza Jr. Oh wait, this kid actually does know his name. Kakarot. Oh, that's kind of disappointing. Would have been nice to have a Frieza Jr. on board, but whatever. Kakarot it is. Let's shift over to Vegeta's crew. Things go pretty normal for them. Nappa hears about the destruction of planet Vegeta and tells Vegeta and Raditz. And honestly, Vegeta doesn't care too much. Raditz knows he has a sibling that's going off to some planet called Earth or something, but he doesn't really care. That kid was weak anyways. And obviously Vegeta has Tarble, but he's also weak, so he doesn't really care. All in all, pretty much the same. They actually have no idea that Kakarot is with Frieza. Raditz still believes that he went off to Earth. But soon enough, they're actually going to find out that things went way differently than they may have expected. As of now, they assume that they're only surviving Saiyans, and they're going to band together like this. Even though there's weaklings like Tarble and Kakarot out in the universe, they don't care about those ones. Right now, these three are the ones that'll rule. And someday, they'll overthrow Frieza. It's still a long way off though. I mean, look at Vegeta. He's like 2 feet tall at this point. What's he gonna do? Anyways, let's shift back to Frieza's perspective. Frieza begins raising Kakarot as one of his own. Over the next few years, Kakarot is treated really well by Frieza and his crew. Frieza knows that if this Saiyan actually trains well enough, he'll become pretty strong, and he wants to make sure that he grows up that way. Even though he adopted Kakarot for the most messed up reasons, he's actually acting like a pretty good father right now. Kakarot is spoiled, given great food and everything. He also trains a lot too. No longer is he that weak, low-class warrior that he was destined to be. Without any other Saiyans around him, he's just the Saiyan. Of course, he still doesn't know too much about Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa, and obviously nothing about Tarbell or Broly. As far as he's concerned, he's the only Saiyan right now. No need to deal with classes or anything. Obviously he knows about Planet Vegeta's destruction by now. He doesn't know that Frieza did it, but he knows that the planet blew up. He doesn't care though. He's loyal to Frieza, and even though his parents were gone, Frieza's treated him pretty well since he's taken him in. And with his training, he's getting a lot stronger, especially considering his young age. Without having hit his head either, he's going to remain as a normal Saiyan. He's not going to have any of Goku's personality here. I mean, think about it. He grew up completely differently. He's not even going to have the name Goku. As far as we're concerned, Goku doesn't exist here. We'll get into Earth a little bit later and see what happens there, because things are going to be a bit iffy over there. As for Kakarot though, things are pretty great. On top of that, he has all of Frieza's influence, so not only is he a normal Saiyan with that same evil nature, but he has Frieza's nature within him too. Yeah, the Saiyans are pretty bad people. Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz, they're not good guys. But Kakarot's something different. Being raised directly under Frieza, that's gonna affect him. He's actually a villain here. Will he remain that way forever? We'll see as the series goes on. But as for now, it seems like morally he's completely gone for good. He's the worst of the worst. Frieza's even begun sending him out on assignments. Of course, he's not too strong, but he does have enough power and control over his power to do some work. He attends random genocides here and there, having fun with the rest of Frieza's army as they destroy planets. A little too much fun. Wow, he really does take after Frieza, and he's only getting stronger and stronger by the day. As he grows up, Frieza even grows more trustworthy of him too, growing some sort of attachment to Kakarot. I mean, at the end of the day, he is just another filthy Saiyan, but he's different. Frieza's actually pleasantly surprised with his growth, and he's really loyal. King Cold thinks it's weird that his son adopted a Saiyan of all people, but Frieza says it's okay. He has a great plan for it in the end. But still, he can't help but feeling that affection for him. Not affection like a loving, caring father, but affection like he enjoys murdering people with this kid. Frieza begins telling Kakarot more about how things work around here. Kakarot works his way up the ranks, and because it's inevitable, Frieza tells Kakarot about the other Saiyans. Kakarot's a bit surprised to hear this. But after thinking about it, well, it makes sense. He survived after all. It's only natural that other Saiyans may have been off the planet when he was too. But Frieza's not using this as an opportunity for Kakarot to make friends. No, it's another way for him to manipulate the child. Frieza didn't even realize this before, but now, he wants to see if Kakarot will turn against the Saiyans. Of course, he has no loyalty to them, and maybe he can use them to rid himself of them. He doesn't mind keeping Kakarot around, but those other 3 monkeys, they gotta go. He begins telling Kakarot more. When Planet Vegeta was destroyed, he says it was hit by a meteor, and he saved Kakarot. He personally went out and got a space pod. He isn't sure how Kakarot escaped, but he's glad he did. He mentions that Vegeta's crew happened to be off the planet on that day, and tells Kakarot that one of the people in that crew is actually his brother Raditz. He tells Kakarot that Vegeta and his crew are the real enemies. They may be plotting against Frieza, and in an extension, may be plotting against Kakarot too. He's kept his eye on them for a while, and they've been planning something. He's not sure what, but he knows to be suspicious of them. He continues this story too. Isn't it suspicious that they were off planet when everyone else is on there? Did they know something that the other Saiyans didn't? I mean, it can't have been a coincidence. Kakarot is still an impressionable child, and everything that Frieza's saying actually sticks with him. Frieza tells him, think about it. Maybe those 3 knew about the meteor hitting the planet and decided to not tell everyone. Or maybe there was no meteor. Maybe they destroyed the planet. But that can't be possible. Can it? Obviously this is complete nonsense, but Frieza makes it out so that Kakarot actually believes it. I mean, he doesn't know the power of these 3 Saiyans, and he doesn't know their intentions either. His mind begins racing. Maybe what Frieza's saying is right. Of course, it is just a theory, but he trusts Frieza. They both have no idea of what the Saiyans could have planned. Obviously Frieza knows it's fake, but Kakarot begins thinking, without knowing that the person that destroyed Planet Vegeta is right in front of him. For Frieza, this benefits him in another way too. Not only did he put this idea in Kakarot's head successfully, but now Kakarot's more motivated to train. If he ever crosses paths with these Saiyans, who knows? Maybe he'll want to kill them. And if these guys truly are strong enough to blow up a planet, he needs to be stronger than them. He begins ramping up his training. not only going on more missions, but even training with people like Zarbon and Dodoria, at the request of Frieza. They are two of his finest soldiers after all, and pretty strong. Maybe they could show him the ropes, get him to become even stronger than he already is. And in a weird way, Zarbon and Dodoria kind of become older brother figures to Kakarot. They treat him just as well as Frieza, and he forms a nice camaraderie with them. But even though they have a good bond as soldiers, Zarbon and Dodoria don't go easy on him. They do whip him into shape, giving him some harsh training to make him stronger. After all, they do have healing pods on the ship. And if Kakarot gets hurt, who cares? It's only going to make him stronger. He doesn't mind either. Frieza has truly created a monster, just like he wanted. Of course, he doesn't care and his army doesn't care. But inevitably, more people will find out about him. At some point over the next few years, Vegeta's crew comes to Frieza's headquarters. Frieza can't hide Kakarot forever. Not that he cares too much anymore, but he knows someday that these Saiyans will find out about him. Everyone's still pretty young at this point. Vegeta and Raditz haven't hit their growth spurt yet, and Nappa still has his hair, just to set the scene. While walking around the headquarters, their scouters pick up a pretty high power. Off in the training area, they hear Zarbon and Dodoria's voice, at first assuming it's just them training, but their scouters pick up a third power level. I mean, not that they care too much, but it's weird because this power is also pretty high. Not as high as Zarbon and Dodoria, but still, a couple thousand, definitely nothing small. They don't really care too much. They go about getting their assignment and leave the headquarters. But on their way out, they actually get a glimpse of everyone training. Specifically, Raditz looks in the training area and sees. As they walk by, he makes direct eye contact with someone in there, and his stomach drops as he walks by. The first thing he notices is a tail, and then that hairstyle, the one exactly like his father's. For just a brief second, he and Kakarot make eye contact. Raditz just looks confused and bewildered, as Kakarot's expression turns to one of anger. Raditz's group continues walking, and that's the extent of his eye contact with Kakarot. Vegeta and Nappa ask why he looks so weird, and Raditz says he thinks he saw his brother somewhere. Wait, that's impossible. Wasn't he sent to some low-level planet? That third power that they were sending on their scouters. It was Kakarot. He saw the tail, the hairstyle. It had to be him. It was definitely a Saiyan. I mean, what other Saiyan do they know of, especially one that looks exactly like his father? Raditz and Nappa were suspicious at first, thinking he was just seeing things, but the more Raditz tells them, the more they realize he's not just freaking out. He's telling the truth. This isn't like him to make stuff up like that, and it doesn't seem like some sort of joke. But why? Why is he here, and why is he training with Zarbon and Dodoria of all people? But it also gets them thinking. Maybe Kakarot would join them. I mean, he is a Saiyan after all, and Raditz's brother. The three of them keep this in mind. More and more time passes, a couple years actually. By this point, Raditz and Vegeta have grown up. Kakarot's still pretty young, but by this point, Nappa also lost his hair. Not important obviously, but I like mentioning the fact that Nappa used to have hair. Pretty funny to me. Whenever they're at Frieza's headquarters, they've been on the lookout for Kakarot. By this point, Vegeta and Nappa have seen him, but they've never been able to make contact. They've only seen him a few times, and they know Kakarot saw them too. But every time they saw him, he just looked at them angrily, and they don't know what's going on. The three of them begin thinking. They need to make contact with him somehow. They can get him to join their side, working against Frieza in a rebellion. He would definitely help, right? As those three begin scheming, someone else begins scheming. Obviously, Frieza's been scheming this whole time too, but someone else close to him. Well, not close in terms of the two have a good bond, but close in another way. This is an April Fool's scenario after all, so I do want to do some more in the scenario than I would normally, something more interesting to spice things up. Let's just say there's a third party here, not just the Frieza Force and not just Vegeta's group. People around the universe have begun to take notice. Frieza's army is getting very efficient at taking over planets. Rumor has it that they recruited a very strong soldier, not on the level of the Ginyu Force or anything, but he's pretty strong in his own right. The person most interested in these rumors is Frieza's brother, Cooler. His squadron is pretty small. Sure, they're really strong and efficient in their own way, but Frieza definitely has strength in numbers and more resources. He wonders what's going on there, but then he remembers. A while ago, before Planet Vegeta blew up, his crew detected a ship flying off the planet, and they almost destroyed it, but they saw Frieza intercept it for some reason. That has to be it. It has to be some Saiyan that escaped and that they recruited. But that doesn't make sense. How did it happen? Why did a Saiyan escape Frieza and then go to join him? Something's not adding up here, and Cooler wants to find out. Not only will Kakarot soon meet his brother, but he'll soon learn of his adoptive uncle. But we'll save that for next time, as well as everything that happens on Earth. We'll leave off here for now. So, what did you guys think about this part? What do you think is going to happen with Cooler? What do you think is going to happen when Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz get involved? And what lies ahead for Kakarot? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of the series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon and get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any of the videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.